Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome along. Well, it's the 4th round of the SRF Weekend Warriors, presented by RaceVoice, coming to you live from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. Tonight we race the national course, obviously slightly different to what we've experienced previously and what most people will be used to, the full Grand Prix layout. As you can probably see on your screen right now, make a right turn nearly down the end of the front straight and then sort of head right, and then that brings you out, effectively missing out of what would be the whole of Sector 1. So it's going to be something a little bit different from the drivers. Obviously last season they did visit Catalonia, but that was on the historic circuit, which is obviously the full Grand Prix circuit, just without the elasticane that got introduced obviously a few years ago, well, probably more than a few years ago now. And last time out, well, it was that man, Aeronum. He was victorious and also secured pole that day as well. Can he be victorious today? Well, he's already run 2 rounds so far this season overall in the Spec 1 category. That duck was broken last time out by Marco Pinero at Red Bull Wing, which was an absolutely entertaining spectacle. If you haven't seen it already, it's well worth going back and watching that one. I'm Tim Cox. I'm joined tonight by Bill Knight, and we have Jonathan Grabowski, who is running the cameras for us. Now, so as I mentioned, Marco Pinero victorious last time. Good to see that, you know, someone managing to take it to Aeronome. Obviously, he's won the championship previously 3 times. Bill, welcome along to the show. And where can we expect the action tonight? Obviously, circuit to Barcelona, it's an epic circuit, and I'm sure it's going to throw up yet another spicy race for us here on Apex TV.
Yeah, based on a quick look at this national circuit, I think all the action is going to be on those humongous sausage curbs that pound all around this thing. So I'm going to be really interested to see how the spec racers get around through that. Those cars are pretty robust. They also can handle quite a bit of curbing. So it may be key actually to the race as to who can get across those huge sausage curbs quickest and on this little short, tight configuration here at Barcelona.
It's definitely going to be interesting. So, qualifying has just completed. The drivers just undertaking a 5-minute warm-up before we head out for a 40-minute race. Obviously, the driver is restricted to 50% fuel in the Ford Spec Racer. So that means there will be pit stops later on in the race. You see Yuri Cox there. Be interested to see how he gets on tonight. That number 86 machine. Now, if you want to stay up to date with us here at Apex Racing TV and everything that's going on, you can follow us on Twitter at Apex Racing TV. Facebook is facebook.com/Apex Racing TV. And Instagram, search for us on at Apex Racing TV. You'll find us there. Forster, he had a really interesting race last time out at Red Bull as well. I'll be interested to see how the American gets on tonight. You see, we're just riding on board with him through the tricky last section. I don't know about you, but I really struggle with this corner. It's one of those sausage curbs that you mentioned there. I think it's going to be really interesting and tricky for some of our drivers, and I'm sure we're going to have loads of overtakes.
Yeah, this place is again my first time really seeing this course today, and I really haven't figured out yet what we're going to see happen here. It's going to be interesting for me just to see as they get into the racing portion of the program, who can put it together, because it's a unique layout obviously for me, since it's the first time I've seen it, and I'm not real sure if anything presents itself as a clear opportunity. So as we roll through, we'll find out.
So I think for me, down into turn one, that's you've got a nice long straight. These Ford Spec racers love the draft, and it's going to be who gets the best exit out of the last corner, and so that race down to turn one. Obviously, not as long as what the drivers are used to, and when we visited here last time. Obviously, running the historic layout where you've got the full stretch of that start-finish straight away. And as always, we'd love to hear from you in chat. So we'd love to hear who you're supporting, everyone watching at home. You see Gradwell there, the Australian, Simus Ribbon Racing, and the 909 machine. Tom, he's had some really good races so far this season in the Masters class. Be really interested to see how he gets on tonight. Now, we'll be bringing up your grid shortly. As always, a packed grid here in the SRF Weekend Warriors. Plenty of drivers to keep our eyes tantalised with. It's going to be an absolute spectacular. We've got races commencing in around about, just under 2 minutes time. Local time, it's around about 20, just coming up to 20 past 2. So we're going to pass the hottest part of the day. Obviously, it's just going to be getting slightly cooler as the time goes on, which will aid the drivers with grip, definitely. I think surely it's got to be Aeronome. He's got to be everyone's favourite for the victory tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, of course. The guy's been kicking everybody's you-know-what for the last few seasons and races. At the last round, Marco Pinheiro definitely put it to him. I mean, he struggled even to finish in the top positions of the race. So, Pinheiro may have his number depending on the way the layout works. So, but for sure, he seems to be the favorite coming into every event. We'll see as the times roll out, or when we have a better look at the qualifying times, that we'll see where they all stand.
Definitely. It's going to be yet another great race here on Apex Racing TV. Now, I mean, even just looking ahead, next time out, we will be heading to Alton. That's going to be another great one in a week's time, but I mean, so far, so round 1 to Cuba, that was tight but challenging, but full of events. Road Atlanta, wow, we saw some great overtakes there. Red Bull Ring, of course, the freshest in our memory from last week. Well, your introduction to the commentary booth in the series, and what an introduction it was, to be fair.
Incredible racing, yeah. And I got to say, I was talking to Dan Sadro, who started 10th, went to dead last in the first corner, and then drove back to 10th in that huge field. And that was one of the highlights there. And then, of course, for me, watching the undercut work so well there at Red Bull Ring was pretty exciting stuff, too. And I'm interested to see at this racetrack if that undercut can make a big difference as well.
I think, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm sure with the national circuit being obviously a little bit tighter and shorter, it's just under 2 miles in length. That's 3 kilometers. See, similar to Red Bull Ring, and there we go. We've got our grid up. So on pole, it's our last time winner, Marco Pinero, with Nicelli alongside him for company. Then Aero Gnome, the Estonian, the mighty Estonian, in 3rd place with Roseborough alongside for company. They've got you Simpkins with Dantas alongside him. David Bohm 7th with John Payne. Then we've got Mirashek, the pole, with Dudu Castro for company on the 5th row of the grid. Simon Mayer has a Bobby West alongside on the 6th row. There we've got Fritscher, Van der Ormelen, Antonio Rees, Dan Sadro, Favini, Bertoni, Steve Elson and Tom Gradwell, who we saw earlier. Murakami has John Tustings alongside for company. Jesus Rodriguez is 23rd with Vogel in 24th. Cost just heading up behind the pace car. Then we've got Palmer, Shook, Bream, Forster, Jesse, Santiago, Gibson, Jackson, Cox, Nunez, Short, Eisenberg 30th. Then we've got Laughlin, Ray. Good to see him back in the series. Cantor, Jacobson, Guerrero, McGuinness, Batley, Webber. 44th. And rounding out our grid, and just in time, because we are getting ready to go racing. They come round, the safety car has peeled off. We wait for him to cross the line. We wait for it to go as well. And here we go. We are off and away in the SRF Weekend Warriors as they head down to turn 1. And Pinero is into the lead already. Still keeping that, but here comes Aero Gnome. You can see him tucked up behind Pinero. And it's getting really, really close and tight down into turn 1. So they now head round Worth for the first time. You see the field all spread out, and we've already got someone out onto the grass there. I think that might have been John Payne there, taking to the gravel trap on the inside at Worth to come round Campsa now. And that's the back straight effectively down to Lacaxa. Well, they'll be coming hard onto the brakes. Everyone's sort of spread out, trying to jostle and just trying to pick up positions early on. To come around to a bit of a tricky part of the circuit. Oh, we've already got 3 spinners. There's Simon Mayer there. I think Vogel's another one there. And there's another car just waiting to rejoin them. Wow, a little bit messy, but so far, Bill, other than that, we've got away relatively cleanly.
Yeah, considering the first sections of this modified national track, I thought we were going to see a lot more carnage than that. I mean, there are quite a few cars that lost it and went off, but for the most part, not a lot of damaged cars. Most people are continuing, so a lot of action the first lap here, but actually got through this a little cleaner than I thought we were going to see.
Yeah, I think definitely just seeing out Stevie Ray, the master of the Masters category, alongside veteran of this league. Great to have him back after heading off to watch the Ford Spec race in real life, and well, I think it was 70. Oh, we've got a replay just coming in here. Here's Simon Mayer. Oh, that is looking incredibly bruised and battered. That Ford Spec race, damage to the front left of it there. Oh, he's really struggling. I think that looks like suspension damage there, Bill. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'd say there's a pretty good chance that that car is going to have some serious issues making it the rest of the way. Fortunately, they do have one quick repair in this league, so if he needs it, he can jump in and get it now.
This is the melee down into Lacaxa. There we go. Big contact. There was already, I think, an incident happened in front of him. Obviously, maybe stretched the driver slightly.
Yeah, he didn't react quick enough to that incident in front of him, and that he ended up in the back of the guy that was slowing for that. So unfortunate for that driver, but like I said, quick repairs are part of this league. So, you know, you can get in and try to do a recovery drive like we saw from Dan Sadro at the last round.
Oh, and what a recovery drive it was from Sadro last time out. But right now, we're coming round to start the third lap already. Such the short nature of this track. Lucelli leads from Pinero, and then Aero Gnome having to settle for third at the moment. No progress being made by him, but oh, here comes Bohm. David Bohm up the inside of Aero Gnome, the leader in the championship, and that is, wow, that's really interesting, and let's see how he gets on tonight. And I'm sure, we've seen it from before, although, you know, occasionally loses places early on, but you can't write him off at all. He'll be back, and he'll be fighting for those places back as got Bobby West just in the background there. He looks like he's lining up, moving the 89 machine, moves to the inside. That's Fabini on the outside there in that black Ford Spec Racer, and that's the move done. Bobby West, the Brit, up into 8th place, and he's already up 4 places, and well, actually, biggest gainer so far goes to Paolo Brame, up 15 places already tonight. I'm sure the Italian is not done yet, Bill. He'll be picking off more as he goes.
No, for sure. When you see anybody making action happen that fast, you know he's having a good day. And is that continuing?
I think it is. I think we've got more as they all sort of stream through Europa car there, through that chicane, and then head round New Holland. Last corner, and then out onto the straight. But fastest lap of the race so far goes to the German David Bohm. He's set a 119.43.
That is flying, man. Look, compared to the other drivers, that's what, 6/10 quicker than the next fastest driver, if I'm getting that right.
It is. Bohm is definitely a man on the move right now. And look, he is tucked right behind the leader, Marco Pinero, looking to continue that winning streak, extend it. He won last time out at Red Bull Ring. But right now, he's feeling the pressure of the German Bohm. He's got a queue forming right behind him. We've got Naselli, Aero Gnome, John Payne joining in the action, all the way down in 5th. This battle right now, this is under 1.5 seconds, covering our top 5 here at Catalonia. And we saw it last week at Red Bull Ring. All it can take is one little mistake from someone, or saw last time with the spinning back marker, and they all had to take evasive action, and that really shuffled things up at the front, didn't it, last time out, Bill?
Yeah, in fact, there were quite a few lapped cars or cars being put laps down that caused big issues at Red Bull, and hopefully we can avoid that this time. But they definitely made a difference in the outcome of the race. I remember Aero Gnome down in turn 1 happened to take a big evasive move while he was leading the race, and that ended up costing him several positions and ultimately the race win, possibly.
Here we go, Bill. We're going to, just in the background, they're going to attempt to go 3 wide into turn 1. Interesting to see how that one pads out for them, but right now we've got a nice little battle ensuing. Mirashek has Fafini and Alson for company here, Bill, and I think Fafini, he's looking aggressive, isn't he, as we can see back from Mirashek.
Yeah,
they feel this move coming.
Yeah, that battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th currently, if I got my screens right, and continuing to rage down the inside, trying to keep things interesting. Make their way back into the back section of the infield.
There you go, there's Alson. They're all almost tripping over each other, and this is one of the worries with these battles that happen within the Ford Spec Race at this SRF Weekend Warrior Series, and a big shout out to the guys over at RaceVoice for sponsoring it as well. Is that when you start battling, that then, you know, you start dropping off from the guys in front of you. You've got a nice little gaggle of cars here, pack of 5, just all tussling for position. So we've got Hayes, Rodriguez, Tom Gradwell currently leading it in that 909 machine. And then we've got Gianni Lockley in the third in row, Cox and Brian Short rounding out that little gaggle of cars there. So they come round to, can you believe it already? 5 laps completed already, Bill.
Yeah, and looking at the 16 car making his way through a pretty important section for this car because it's such a momentum car that if you don't get that right-hander correct, you've got this long, relatively long straight for this layout down into the left-hander, and that could cost him big. But he got off the corner real well because he's got a big train coming up behind him. We're looking at the back of Dan Santra right there because he's got that funny little sad face on the back of his car. Is the only reason I recognize that. But they're having a good little tussle here. They should be having a lot of fun right now. And Dan has moved up, I see, quite a few positions, so he's once again moving himself up toward the front.
Yeah, it seems to be the story of big gainers and even big losses here at Barcelona this week. So your biggest movers and shakers are Eisenberg up 15 places so far. Our biggest loser would be Evandro Dantas. He's down 22, currently in 28th position. If you're disappointed by that one, see some great racing from the Brazilian Dantas so far this season. But Vogel, he's on the attack right now. It's him versus Sadro as they head across the start-finish line, down into turn 1. Here we go. Who's going to come out victorious? So, no, sorry, Sadro and Favini. Favini in that black spec race is going to have the work to do round the outside. Can he take it? We've on board with Sadro just looking back. But here comes Favini. The Swede is fighting back. He's saying, no, you're not having that place off me so easily, Sadro. But Sadro's equally, he's hanging in there for the skin of his teeth, Bill.
Yeah, 2 by 2, they're making their way through again. This is going to be interesting at the end of this straightaway, man. These 2 cars side by side coming down this very, very tight braking zone.
Equally, look behind them, Vogel and Elson. They're going 2 by 2. Elson deep on the brakes, nearly there into the back of Sadro. I think that was, sorry, Vogel. I think, yeah, Sadro. I think that was. Sorry, and. They're starting to trip up over each other where Favini is at the front of this train, and it's I wouldn't say it starts to feel like a bit of a roadblock, but due to the slipstream you're saying about, Bill, and where that plays in, they just end up all catching each other along the back straight, and I'm sure we'll see the start-finish straight as well, and the car at the front becomes, everyone's trying to trip over him, trying to get past.
Here's another huge gaggle of cars further back in the field, the 26, 27, 28, 29. But man, racing just as hard. We got guys peeling into the pits already, so some of the early stoppers are going to try to do the undercut there. I think, is that a Stevie Ray move? Was he one of those drivers that went in a pit? Let's see.
Well, I was thinking, Bill, this seems incredibly early for the pit window. It can't be open yet. We're already 10 minutes in, 8 laps. Such has been the action here in the SRF Weekend Warriors Series, and the battle for the lead, that's intensifying even more so. You can throw a blanket over this top 5. It's only 1.3 seconds now, covering our top 5 here at Catalunya.
Yeah, if you look at the best laps and the last laps, these guys are turning incredibly consistent times, and they're all right nailed together. So is this a situation, Tim, where you think these guys are pretty much now biding their time and just settling in, trying to get away from the rest of the field? Or do you think we're going to start seeing them have some infighting going on?
I think that, well, they can't afford to. I mean, you look, you've got to go hats off to Brandon Roseborough, who's just been quietly chipping away and is starting to pick up onto
there's
this
the
back.
answer.
But there we go, Naselli up the inside, fast David Bowe to take first place here, but I'm sure that's not permanent. Naselli, we've seen some brilliant drives from him so far this season, but we've seen it time and time again in this series, haven't we, Bill? Whoever takes the it's almost like
here's that battle continues there back here with Vogels and Elson and
Elson, look, he's made his way to the front of this queue. He was currently about 3rd or 4th in it, but Bill, do you want to be at the front of this queue as you head out onto that back straight? You're just going to be going to have everyone attacking you down into Lucaxia as we see Favini moves to the inside of Elson there, and here he comes. He's going to make the move up the inside.
Now, I noticed Dan Sadro's not in this group anymore. I wonder if he pitted to get away from all this carnage and if he's going to try to do the undercut. Yeah, he has. He's pitted, yeah. Yeah, so we're going to see. It'll be interesting to see how that works out at the end for him, because I'm sure he decided, you know what, this is a fight I don't need to be in. I'm going to get out of here and see if I can get some clean track and put down some quick laps. So we'll see how that works out for him at the end. But the 43 car there, that's a nice.
Big contact there. Oh, that was a love tap there from the Forster, from the 555 machine there. And I've got a replay hopefully coming up on that one, because that'd be great to see from the outside perspective exactly how that one unfolded into the chicane. And then, yeah, just a bit of outbraking there.
Yeah. The 555 just got in way too hot, couldn't get the car to turn. That's a shame.
Wow. It is a shame. It sort of broke up that little group of cars. But you mentioned about Sagan just trying to break and find a bit of clean air. But the trouble is with a track of this size, Bill, surely is trying to find that. We always have a packed grid here at SRF Weekend Warriors, 44 cars out on track tonight. And where do you find that gap to try and get some good times?
I know because Dan and I raced together some that he runs a third-party vendor's software that tells him where he will come out if he pits. So it may be that he's using that to his advantage, maybe not. We'll find out when this thing all shakes out.
Yeah, we saw it obviously last time out of Red Bull Ring with people trying different strategies of either pitting later or pitting earlier, and it worked for some and not for others.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how that one pans out as we just look at Chris Murakami.
Yeah.
He's currently leader in Masters, isn't he, Bill?
By a long way. In fact, he's really running a strong race. Chris is definitely laying down some solid laps here. He's gapping his next competitor, Tom Gradwell, our winner from the last round, by quite a distance. I mean, he's right now got this thing in hand.
Yeah, Gradwell had an absolutely stunning race out last time at Red Bull Ring. But for Vini, just managing to sort of all clear a little bit of that group. And we've got Vogel, he's headed to the pit. As you mentioned, so I'm just looking to see where he comes out. Yeah, Dan Sadra is currently the fastest, your man there. Of all the people so far to pit, he's up in 25th position. So he's definitely a name to watch out for. You mentioned about that group. Steve Elson's also headed to the pits. However, he has come out in 27th, so that tactic clearly working for Dan Sadro there.
Yeah, he's a guy that really pays attention. We do a lot of endurance racing together, and so he's a guy who understands that he needs to know how that is all going to play in. So not surprised that he's using that to his advantage.
So here we go. Wow, look, just trying to suck at the slipstream for the back marker. Wow. Trying to get out of the way there, but everyone just trying to use every little bit of slipstream there. Naselli trying to remain in the lead here at round 4 at Catalunya and playing high stakes poker there with the back marker.
I gotta wonder if he thought that the driver behind him didn't know that the lap car was there and he was going to jink out at the last second and hope that the other one got collected. I mean, that's what that looked like to me, because the way he went over there and the angles that he was driving didn't make any sense unless he was trying to pull something funny like that. That was bizarre.
Well, I'm not too sure where the back marker was, but the panic that must be going through their cockpit right at that moment is trying to keep well out of the way of this league battle of top 6 cars, and then
and they come driving to you. Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow, absolutely epic stuff. So Naselli still holds the lead over Panero, David Bain 3rd, Nom 4th, Rosemarut's 5th, Payne 6th, covering this top gaggle of cars all the way from 1st to 6th. And then we've got Bobby West, he's 7th for Brits, Van Dormelen, the Dutchman's 8th, Mirashek 9th, Murakami 10th, and leader in Masters, and Favini in Spec 2 is currently leading that. He's in 11th position overall. That serious competitor is Eisenberg in 13th place. So just head to Dudu Castro. We've seen some great drives from him so far this season, the American, but just looking at it, he's already taken his pit stop off that instant early on. He's got Stevie Ray ahead of him, and then Forster ahead of him. That set of 3 Americans trying to work together there. All right, Dan Pass is catching on him.
Yeah, so Sandro, if I'm reading our screens correctly, is the fastest or the first person that has pitted right now. Is that correct?
Spot on, absolutely spot on.
And the gap the gap from him to the leader is how much?
So that's 26 seconds as it stands at the moment. That's 37-second pit transition through the pit lane, roughly. It's looking at, sort of average time so far everyone's achieved. We've got Jeff Fritcher in the pits. He's dropped down below Sadri, but actually Elson, he's just managed to get past.
Yeah, he did, sure did.
But we've also got this battle heading on the lead as Bohm Now on the attack of Pinero. Naselli just, he's headed, isn't Naselli headed to the pits? No, he's dropped well down. Something's happened to him clearly, but a bit of a shame there. But so what was 6? It's now become 5. And then now I think we've got to change the lead coming on here. We've got, that's Bohm on the inside, and he's already through there, Bill.
Yeah, he got a good run off of that last corner and then used the draft to great effect. And and he's almost spins the car there. I mean, really came close. I'm shocked he was able to hang on to that.
But look, it's played into Bohm's favour. He's managed to pull 4 attempts clear. However, Bohm is going to be in the slipstream range, and he's going to be under attack down into Lucasia at the end of the back straight. And we've got a replay coming in of what happened to Naselli. Let's take a little look there. There we go. What happened to him?
Was there contact?
I can't really. It's a bit of a straight on that.
Yeah. It's almost like he got out there. Yeah, if we can get another angle, maybe that's going to help us decide what happened there. Because I'm not sure he didn't just get out, because there's a crown in the road there, and if he got out on the off-camber side of that. All right, let's just look back from the gearbox, and we'll see. Is there contact? I still can't tell.
Oh, I still can't tell. It seems a little bit almost. It's like he lost it, but of his own accord there, which is strange from Naselli.
Yeah, there's a crown in that section of the road there, and if you get outside of it, it's off camber, and he may have got back to throttle trying to stay even with the car on the inside, and the car just spun. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, Naselli, clearly driving in a bit of an anger. It's just set his personal best last time around as he attempts to hook up onto the back of these guys once again, but the way they're battling, I'm sure that is definitely not race over for Naselli. He's got around about 3.8 seconds to try and make up. But if there's anyone who can do it, it will be Naselli, and that's going to be really interesting to see. But can he bring Bobby West along for the ride with him? The Brit is only about half a second behind Naselli at the moment, and that could potentially turn it into a 7-way battle for the lead. But with half race distance, sorry, Bill. Go on.
No, I was going to say, in most categories of racing, if you said that it was a 7-race battle for the lead, that would be like absolutely stupendous, outstanding, amazing. But in this league, it's just another day in Spec Racer 4 Weekend Warriors.
It is. It's what we've come to get used to. It's like the default settings here in SRF Weekend Warriors with the Ford Spec Racer. Especially on these shorter tracks, anything can happen, and anything does happen here. Yeah. With half race distance, can you believe it already completed? 16 laps. Your leader so far is David Bohm on winning at the moment. Then we've got Pinero, the Estonian, for third, looking for his third victory so far this season. Obviously, Pinero will be looking to follow on from his victory last time out of Red Bull Ring. They've got Roseborough, John Payne, Naselli, Bobby West, Van Dormelen, Mirashek, Chris Murakami. Big hats off to him in the Masters. In 10th place overall and leading Masters, and then Fabini leading Spec 2 and 11th place. But
yeah, look here, Tom Gradwell moving up. He's getting closer to Murakami. I don't know about the gaps between the two, but for sure positions have gotten much closer between the first and second place cars in the Masters category. I was also seeing that Dan Sadra has moved back up to the leader in the cars that have pitted, and the gap to the leader for him, Tim, is what? From Sadro to the leader is now...
So, the gap from leader, he's looking at about 50 seconds by my recollection.
Yeah, so
and that's not going to be enough to take the lead.
No,
hold on, sorry to cut across you here. Norman Roseborough, they've blinked first of that lead pack. They've headed to the pits.
I think this is early for these guys. Don't they normally run pretty deep into these sessions before they come?
Yeah, we've seen... Their tactic tends to be that they run to within the last 10 minutes of the race. So them coming in a half race distance is a little bit unexpected, but clearly rolling the dice and just trying a bit of creativity. We saw it from Naselli last weekend.
Yeah, are they teammates? Are they teammates?
They are, no, they're not teammates. But even so, we've seen from the guys that they will sort of almost work together, you know, a bit of a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Yeah, in this series, you kind of need a dance partner, so to speak, if you're going to come in early like that. You're going to need somebody that you can draft with. If you're leaving a pack of cars, you need a dance partner to get around here quick in this car. So I'm not going to say, even though they're not teammates, there may have been some cross-team communication about, you know, we got to get out of this pack because it really was.
Well, spinning that. Is that? I mean, that's Stevie Ray. He's lost it in the background. Oh, but there we go.
And there we go. Yep.
We've got into the pit lane. Has come Marco Panera and John Payne. So it's only Naselli and Bohm. Well, Naselli's he's still not quite closed that gap up yet, but David Bohm, last of that lead pack of 5, is still out on track. Now, worth keeping an eye on is obviously Aeronomant. Let's have a look at what happened to Bobby West. Well,
whoa!
I think
did he clip the curb or did he just lose the car?
It seemed to me like he just lost the car there, or he's trying to play maybe a bit of Tokyo Drift there and just slide the car around and got a bit wild there.
Yeah, if
but
you can't be fast, look good, right?
Well, exactly. You know, there's one way to get on TV, and I think that Bobby West, that was for him. That was it. But that's just obviously into the through Europa car there into the chicane. But for me, I tell you what, the interesting thing is Panero and Gnome have played the pit strategy to a T, because John Payne, who you currently see on your screens right now, who's part of that lead group with with Roseborough, wasn't it? Roseborough's managed to sort of, you know, play it okay, but John Payne was the big loser on that earlier pit stop strategy. We've got Favini from Spec 2, 10th place, in amongst them at the moment. So, but for me, it's got to be interesting. Where does David Bohm, when he pits, where does he come in amongst this little lead group? And he's going again. He's staying out there. It looks like he's going to run this one deep, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's got a strategy in mind. I personally can't figure out what the heck it is, but he's got something working. We'll see how it works for him when this thing rolls out.
Wow.
Almost 25 minutes into this 40-minute race, man. It is flying by.
It's going to be an absolute masterstroke, or we'll find out definitely within the next 15 minutes. 19 laps completed. Your top 6, they're yet to pit. So that's Bohm, Naselli, West, Van Dormelen, Mirashek and Murakami. Panero, the leader, obviously, of everyone who has stopped so far, but we've got Laughlin. That's Jamie McGuinness tucked up behind him, someone who we haven't really mentioned tonight. The Brit, it's fair, haven't really mentioned Gianni Longlin much either, to be fair. They've had quite a quiet race so far, but I mean, we've had such great action, haven't we, to be fair? And talking of great action, here we go down into turn 1. We've got Castro and Forster just nipping through. That's AJ Jesse, but there's Dantes just looming behind them in that yellow Beck Racer. It's obviously different classes at play as well.
Mm-hmm.
As they head now out through Campster and out onto the back straight, Bill.
Yeah, these guys, this multi-class racing to me always keeps it really interesting, because, you know, the guys in the front of him that are in the higher category, you know, they're thinking, is this guy really going to get it in here and mix it up with us, or is he just going to follow us? So do we need to worry about him or not? That always makes it interesting from a driver's perspective, is, you know, do I need to worry about this guy trying to pass me? You know, I'm sure they have outputs that show them where he is in his category. So to me, it's a real mind game for drivers in different categories. You know, do I need to defend, or do I just focus on the guys ahead of me?
Just keeping one eye for the lead. David Bohm still hanging it out there on the track. Yet to come into the pits, but Ian Gibson, I suspect he's headed into the pits. However, he's going to come out way down, probably around about John Tusting sort of area. Yeah, he's just heading out now. But David Bohm, there you go. You see him moving to the inside of the track, just trying to break that slipstream with Naselli, who's so sorry, say just in the background there, just pounding away. But Naselli, where he's able to utilise that slipstream behind, that gap is closing, isn't it?
A lot. I mean, I think I just saw it slip away, but I thought it was about 7/10 that he gained on that lap, if I read that chart correctly. So
Yeah,
for sure. The driver out front alone paid a big penalty just then, and that, I mean, I can't believe the draft is that big here. Anyway, that was what happened. 7/10 was, if I saw that right.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. And Naselli, really, seeing the graphic on screen right now, taking absolute chunks, probably about a net gain of just over half a second per lap, and that gap is tumbling. Naselli, obviously, after that incident earlier on, now just under 1.7 seconds of Bohm, and that gap is closing. But it's where they come out around that battle. We've still got Pinero, Nome, and Roseborough all tucked in around one another. So it's where these top two guys, where did they come out in their pit stops?
Yeah, that's to me right now is going to be the difference. How quick Numb's in. Now, here we go.
Yes, David Bohm, he's in from the lead. That means that it's a trouble where you have two front runners and they've got similar names, Bohm and Nome. It's a tricky one for us commentators. We're tripping up. But yeah, you've got Naselli, he's taken the lead. Van Dormelen heads into second temporarily. Murashek third. But keep one eye on that time tower. Where's Pinero going to come out? Where's Bohm? Where's Nome? Here's Bohm. He's headed out. And
there's Nome.
Come out.
It's Bohm and Nome together.
Well, no, because Roseborough, look, he just... Brandon knows Roseborough, the American, he's just managed to slot it in between the pair of them. But where Bohm was, he's going to, you know, thank goodness he's got Roseborough in between them, because otherwise he would have been cut a bit adrift from Pinero and Nome. But it's where does this, I mean, based on that, Naselli was around about 7 seconds behind David Bohm. I would imagine he's going to come out a couple of seconds behind this sort of gap, but we've seen the laps he's putting in so far, Bill, and it's going to be really interesting. What magic can he work on his in laps?
Yeah, we're getting ready to find out, because it's going to have to be a big one, and Naselli is in.
There we go. Your leader is in. Will Van Dormelen and Murashek come in? Yes, there you go. Well, there's Van Dormelen. Will Murashek complete the set of being the top three heading in? We'll find out in a few seconds. There you go.
He's in. Yep.
Your top three's in. That surely is going to mean Pinero takes the lead again. There we go. There goes your leader, Marco Pinero, looking to make it 2 wins on the bounce. Aeronome is going to head up into second. Here comes Naselli. Where's he going to come out into this mix? He's going to come out just behind the German David Bohm.
Yep, in 5th. And he's close enough that he's going to pick the draft up on this, so don't be surprised when we get these guys all together again.
And I'm sure they will be heading together again, because Naselli, look at the job he's done. He's closed right up. He's taken around about another half a second to a second out of David Bohm before, obviously, David Bohm took his pit stop. So it's getting really tight again at the front end here of the grid, of the race, sorry. Catalonia, and I think we're going to be in for an absolute grandstand finish as we head into the last 10 minutes of the race, Bill.
Yeah, and I was looking at the best laps from these guys in the top, and they're all within a 10th or so of each other. It's going to come down to who puts down the quick laps right now, I think, because with just 10 minutes or so left, actually less 9 minutes left in the race, it's going to take some consistently quick laps. How many laps is that going to give us here? It's only going to give us about 4 or 5 laps, isn't it? Yeah.
No, maybe a bit more. So the average sort of lap time here is
I'm sorry.
about 1 minute, just under 1 minute 20.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking of the long course.
Well, actually, no, you say it's probably about 5 or 6 laps. Probably going to be about right, actually, to be fair. Especially, you know, these guys, they're going to start battling as well.
Was that a lapper that was getting out of the way, or was that one of our drivers had a problem?
That was.
Okay.
That was.
Okay, thank you.
There we go. So that's Masters leaders in, and Spec 2 leader in as Gradwell and McGuinness, respectively, head into the pits from first pass in their class. But however, Tom Gradwell is demoted into second as Chris Murakami takes 10th place overall and leader of Masters. But for McGuinness, where does he come out?
Yeah, he's stretching that opening over the second place Masters driver again. So Chris is pounding down some quick laps.
It is. He's just looking, Castro, he's taken the lead in Spec 2, hasn't he? Look at that. Dudu Castro took that very early on pit stop on lap 11, but he's made it work for him as the American. Now up into Brazilian, sorry, up into 14th place. But look how Naselli is closed right in the back, into the back of David Bohm. This is getting close, and we were saying about having a grandstand finish here at Apex Racing TV, and it looks like it's coming, Bill. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Another great finish to the race.
I think one of the keys here is going to be if Gnome and Rosenborough can get together and pull themselves up. If those guys cannot fight each other for that position, but instead work together to get forward, it's going to make it a really exciting finish here at the end.
Just right up with Brandon Roseborough at the moment, currently third. Pinero, he has pulled that bit of a gap out of the front. Can these guys work together? They are running out of time. They've just got under 7 minutes left to go. It's going to be tight, Bill.
We're going to have to see some bump drafting to get them up there, but I mean, I've seen it happen before, so I'm not going to count them out yet. But I mean, right now, Pinero looks really solid, coming off the win at Red Bull Ring. You know, he's full of confidence and vinegar, as we say, and he may pull it off. But that's their only hope is to work together.
Francesco Pantena in chat on YouTube saying Forza Pinero. Well, Pinero's looking comfortable at the front at the moment, 2.7 seconds clear of this battle you're seeing on screen right now between, we've got Gnome, Roseborough, Bohm and Naselli. So
it's a race
shout out to Flavio Andello and Greg Stefani as well. Hello to you guys over in chat, always good to hear from you. I'm not sure how this is going to end, Bill. It's going to be tight as we just look at the Laughlin and Jacobson battle. They've also got their Testing and Chuk actually just tucked up behind them. And as always, battles up and down the field here.
As always, for sure. And ooh, that was close there, shutting the door down. And I wasn't sure that was not going to end in tears, but they got through it okay.
Well, it was a bit of a lock up there from Jacobson. Nearly allowed Longlin through. However, he's under attack from Jacobson's fellow countryman, the Brit John Tusting. But it's all about fine. I know we say it time and time again with these cars. It's all about momentum, and you know there's fine margins because you just don't. You know, if you give an inch, quite often this car lose a mile. So we're just
replay here. Naselli, did he get any help? Oh, I believe he did. Yes, he did. So the 122 trying something. David Baum trying something that was never going to work, in my opinion. And unfortunately, that really breaks that battle up.
So it's the check-in. Jamie McGuinness. What happened to him? That's down into turn one. And maybe just distracted a little bit by the spinning Elson in front of him.
Yep.
And
once again,
round he went.
Yeah, once again he got across that crown with his brakes on, and the car just continued to rotate. So you take note, spec racers, when you're making the national race, don't get to the outside and coming through turn one because it never works out well.
So the battle, Naselli, he drops off to the back. He's on John Payne's now coupled up to the back of him. But this battle for second place, Gnome has Roseborough for him for company. Obviously, Aaron Gnome lost out due to the spinning back marker at turn one last time out at Red Bull Ring. Trying to make a bit of redemption, but Pinero is still in the lead with just under 4 minutes left to go. The way these guys are battling, Bill, I don't think they're gonna catch Pinero. It's going to be, I think they're going to run out of time, especially if these guys start battling.
Yeah, now that's Steve. Is that Steve Ray up ahead of the leader right there? Is that? Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
So I'm fairly certain Steve will get out of these guys' way, but I mean he does own the series, so you know, series owner's prerogative here. We'll see if he wants to add some action. He might add a little drama to the end of the race here.
A little bit of spice to the action. See Pinero there just coming round. He's round turn one, lap 28 here.
Tom Gradwell, our winner from the last round, having a little action here.
He is. He's tucked up behind AJ Jesse, and we've got Eisenberg at the front of this free car train for company as well. As right now, it's Gradwell. Can he improve? Obviously, his nearest competitor in Masters, Chris Murakami. He's having an absolute flyer today in 10th position. Just bring you up on the Spec 2 series. Dudu Castro is leading that right now. See him on screen, number 73 Machine. And his nearest competitor is Dantas down in 16th, so he's looking comfortable for that one right now. But they are catching. Look at that, they are catching Pinheiro. Pinheiro, oh, he's heading to the pits!
He's in the pits, what the heck?
Wow.
You must have short fueled.
They clearly can't get home to the end of the race.
Oh, no
here
wonder.
right to the grass.
That
right
explains the gap. That explains the gap. He short fueled, thought he was going to make it, and oh wow, that's gotta hurt.
Wow.
But who? Look at this, Aerodome. I mean, come on.
Wow.
Aerodome leading the race.
The Estonian has been handed a massive chunk of luck there. Clearly, Panaris, well, he was dropping off time-wise. He's trying to fuel save, thought maybe he could get to the end. And he was unable to.
Now, Roadsbearer suddenly realizes he's racing for the race win. This could get really interesting.
Yeah, we've only got around about a couple of laps left to go. Oh, you can see just how close he is. This is getting so close, and the grandstand finishes as we expect to see here in the SRF Weekend Warriors Series. It's happening all over again. Who's going to come out victorious? Will it be Roseborough? Will it be Gnome? We'll find out within the next couple of minutes. As you mentioned, that Stevie Ray just ahead of them. Can he play a part in the storyline?
All right, so less than a minute to go. Will this be the white flag? Yes, this will be white flag.
It's got to be. Well, just keep an eye out on the left-hand side. You should see a white flag being waved furiously.
Not sure.
No, yeah, it's got to be. This has got to be the last lap. Yeah, looking at the timer.
Oh, and Stevie's. Oh, he got it.
He's let go. He's moved right to the outside. Almost looked like he was going to have a bit of an accident himself doing so, trying to get out of the way of the battling leaders. Time's running out for Brandon Roseborough. Can he get it done? This is what it's going to be all about. This exit here.
Yep.
Can he get it? Who's going to have the momentum in the race down to Lacazette?
I think he got to run. Here
He's
we go.
gone to the inside, Bill. No, not quite enough.
I think he pulled out too early. Super late on the brakes. He's looking for the outside move. He's been climbing that curve the whole time, too.
He is using all of the track and a bit more as they come round to Benelli, then head round to Europa Car. They're going to have the last chicane to go through. But this is
look at all this lap traffic.
Oh, they're all having their own battle. They're going to have to go round again as one of the back markers getting out of the way there. But Aeronome, he's got one corner left to go. Here comes Rosemary. He's going to be a bit too far back. He's going to have a go, though. But no, Aeronome wins round 4 at Barcelona. Brandon Roseborough, so close. 2/10 behind. Comes home second. David Bones third. Naselli's fourth. Payne fifth. West is sixth. Van Dormelen looks like he's going to come home in seventh. But Chris Murakami, what a drive from him. He dedicated his win in Masters last time to, last time we won out to, obviously the death of his father. Such an emotional and special race for him, and yet again wins in class, comes home 11th place. Who's going to come home in Spec 2? Well, it's going to be Dudu Castro who's going to take the victory. There you go, that is confirmed. Marginally behind Sadro. Wow. Well, Bill, just looking at it, and still got battles right to the end. As Tusting's under a bit of pressure here, he's managed to get past Shook and Jacobson. But here comes, it's Brit on Brit, as Jacobson's, they're going to run each other to the line. They're going to go 3-1 across the line.
He ran out of fuel. I think he ran out of fuel.
I think he did, yeah, and somehow...
He did. He ran out of fuel, I think. I'm 99% sure, because the car just suddenly slowed down.
He's got to have done...
You know,
lost 2 places, and somehow Jeff Jacobson has come home in 19th, and Shook's nicked a place as well to 20th. You've got a feel for John Tusting, though, haven't you, Bill?
Oh, yeah. That's, I mean, I was talking to several of the drivers earlier about how close they run their fuel, and how much time you can make up, because these cars refuel really slow. So if you can save a quarter or half a gallon, well, I don't know what the smallest gap you can put in the cars is, but if you can save some time and just fueling the car, I mean, it makes a big difference. And obviously the leader and then another driver in the top part of the field having a problem there in the last part of the race due to short fueling. So, here comes the Demolition Derby. I always forget they do this after the race. It's so funny to watch.
Oh yeah, the tradition that is at the SRF Weekend Warriors, the post-race Demolition Derby. A bit of a relief for the drivers and release some of that frustration that they've had during the race.
Yeah,
See,
speaking
cars
of
on their roof there, but let's get you through your results. So Aeronome takes the victory here. And for Catalonia, Brandon Rosberg takes second. David Bohm's third. Naselli fourth. John Payne the fifth. Bobby West sixth. And Dorman seventh. Marco Pinero, after running out of fuel and having to make that splash at the end, blast from dash from the lead at the end, comes home in eighth and isn't able to make it 2 wins on the trot. Jeff Fritz's ninth. Peter Mirashek is 10th. Chris Murakami comes home in 11th, takes that victory in Masters. Dan Sadro's 12th. Udo Castro, Brazilia's 13th, and Winspec 2. Then we've got Jesus Rodriguez 14th. Forster is 15th. Dantas 16th. 17th is Tom Gradwell, and second in Masters. Jesse is 18th. Then in 19th, we've got Jacobson. Shook 20th. Tusting running out of fuel at the line, losing these 2 places, come home in 21st. Jeremy Guinness is 23rd. 22nd. Then we've got Yuri Cox 23rd. Favini, Eisenberg, Laughlin, Stevie Ray comes home third in a Masters there in 27th place. Vogele is 28th. Then in 29th, we've got Ian Gibson and Kurt Nunes rounds out the top 30. Paul Jackson's 31st, Cantor's 32nd, Laurel Anderson, Mayer, Short, Brain, Simpkins, Santiago and Bertoni round out your top 40. Then Reese, Palmer, Batley and Sal Webber came home at last place, unfortunately, in 44th to round out the field. And yet again, another absolute epic night. But I tell you what, Bill, let's have a little chat to our race victor, Aeronome. He's joined us in the commentary box. Well, Aero, I'm sure you weren't expecting Pinero to head to the pits so late in the race, and we're going to have to settle for second place or even third place potentially.
Well, I expected him to go long, but as soon as he came out of the pits, I saw his pit time, and there was no way he was going to make it. So I took it quite easy, trying to stay in the 0 incidents for bonus points and make no mistakes.
No, I mean, it was really, really interesting earlier on. I mean, we were up to a 6-way battle for the lead. I mean, what was it like? Just sort of putting yourself inside the car, giving this sort of your perspective, and what was it like in that pack? Just it seemed to be all relatively clean, and you seem to be all working together to get away from the cars behind you.
Yeah, it was relatively good. I was in the 4th place, and there's usually 1 or 2 cars behind me, so basically I was driving, watching in the mirrors all the time. Almost caught me. I ran out on the 3rd place guy almost, but yeah, it's very difficult if you want to save fuel or something like that.
So it's 3 wins from 4 for you so far this season. Next week we head to Alton Park. How are you feeling about your chances there?
I don't know if I have raced there with Spec Racer, but there is less traffic, I think, and it's difficult track again, like this one, so technical, so yeah, it will be tactical again.
I said, well, the format we're racing on that circuit is the international without chicane, so you're going to have that long, massive back straight, so I'm sure there'll be lots of slipstream potential, and we'll definitely be looking forward to watching you the next time out. Anyone you want to say thank you to, or any shout outs you want to give, Aero, at all?
Yeah, like always, I like to thank the sponsors, the admins, all the drivers in the league, and you guys there in the booth.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Aeronoma, your race victor from here at Barcelona.
Thank you.
So I think another guy, Bill, I'm sure you'll love to speak to, is Chris Wakami, a victor in Masters today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chris. Congratulations, my man. Not only winner in Masters, but I mean ahead of the Spec 2 winner, and that was a great drive, man. Congratulations.
Oh, hey, thank you.
All right, so anything in particular that you could put down to being so special at this place this weekend, or was it just it all came together for you?
Oh, Barcelona's not my track. I didn't feel confident out there at all, actually. So I was
your results say
racing on my
something
own.
different.
Oh, well, I was on my own. Well, actually, I was behind Pierre Mizurek.
Mizurek, yeah.
Yeah, he had a little more speed than I did, so I was actually losing his draft, but that helped his draft there, and there was nobody challenging me, so it's easier to drive straight lines by yourself like that.
Yeah. So as the perfect storm came together, you had a quicker driver just ahead of you, kind of the carrot dangling in front of your nose, but also giving you a performance advantage and then no pressure from the back. Sounds like a dream race, and it turned out that way.
Yeah. It does work out well.
Yeah, so congratulations, sir. And we're looking forward to seeing you at the next round. I'm hoping you're going to be there for that.
Hopefully. Sundays are kind of a tough day for me, but I try to make it at least two-thirds of them. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that your competitors are not real thrilled that you were here today, but I'm sure we were and the fans were. So congratulations on your win, sir.
All right, on. Thank you.
So next up, we will be hearing, very shortly, from Mr. Benjamin Forster, who came home in second place in Spec 2 today. It's just joined us in the commentary. Ben, congratulations, second place in Spec 2. Were you expecting it today?
Not at all. Barcelona is one of those tracks for me that I don't really race. And when I do race, I'm quite bad at it. But I think I was fairly consistent, which kind of helped me get where I am right now.
We saw you it seemed to have a bit more of a quieter race compared to some. However, likes of Castro, did you ever feel like you were going to catch him today, or do you think you were more than happy to settle for second place in class?
Well, for a while I was trailing behind him, and we were passing both cars together, and I was just trying to stay with him, but I dropped back a little bit too far, and car separated us, and then I kind of fell away from there. But I don't think I had his pace, but I was definitely able to keep up.
So obviously you mentioned about pace. I mean, in terms of the the lap traffic, was it quite challenging for you there today to try and manage your way through them, or was it not too bad?
Yeah, I think I got kind of lucky a little bit, because most of the lap traffic was either on the pit exit when I was coming through, and I didn't really run into too much of that.
So next time out, we head to Alton Park. We were chatting to Aeronome earlier, and he was saying, not too sure how he's going to get on around there. It's not the circuit, he hasn't raced with the Ford spec racers. Obviously, the format we're running is the International without chicanes, which gives you that nice long back straight. How are you feeling about your chances as we head to the UK for the next round?
Well, I haven't raced this car there, but I've raced the Jetta and the MX-5 in the SimLab series, and I do fairly well in those. But with this thing being a whole different animal, I'll have to give it some practice. Maybe I can catch a win next time.
Well, I won't make any comments on it because I don't want to break the curse of the commentator onto you. So, you could say, based on reverse psychology, I hope it's a bit of a disappointment for you, and I hope that then you get the win. But anyone you want to say, shout out to or say thanks to or anything?
My wife and kids for letting me sit down and actually do these long races.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent. Thanks very much for your time. That's Benjamin Foster there, second place in the Spec 2 class. Well, Bill, yet another treat for the eyes and action-packed, as always, in this series. Absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, I've got to say I was absolutely shocked that Arrow was completely confident that he didn't have anything to worry about. I mean, you know, champions get there by knowing the details, really paying attention, and obviously, you know, he knew that there was no way that, forgive me, I'm looking for the name.
Panero.
Yes, Panero. Thank you. He knew there was no way that Panero could get to the end of the race, and so he just relaxed. And I wish we could have got Brandon Roseborough in for an interview, because I would have loved to hear if he was aware of that and whether he knew that he was going to be racing for the win at the end. But maybe next time.
Yeah, definitely. It would have been interesting one. Listening, Brandon, love to hear from you. Love to chat to you. You know, if you can spare us some time at the end of the next race, that'd be brilliant. So, just to mention, obviously, you know, if you want to stay up to date with what's happening with us here, Apex Racing TV, you can do so. We are on Twitter at Apex Racing TV. Facebook is facebook.com/Apex Racing TV. And of course, Instagram, if you search for Apex Racing TV, you can find us on there as well. Right now, on the other side, you've got IGP Fun F3. That's round 4 from Hockenheim. It's always a definitely interesting series to follow. Of course, in around about just over 3 hours' time, there'll be the XSLR NASCAR Next Gen Championship. They're heading to Daytona. That'll be one to look out for. And then tomorrow evening, we've got the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup, the IndyCar series as well the day after. So plenty coming up here on Apex Racing TV. Wow, what a race. In a week's time, we will see you coming to you live from Alton Park. It's going to be spectacular. Can Aeronome make it 4 victories so far for the season? He's currently sitting on 3 championship wins. Gaspers holds the record with 5 championship wins. Can we see if Aeronome can edge ever closer to that 4th championship? We'll find out next week. See you then. Goodbye.